You know, no matter how well you can spell and no matter how good your grammar is, this next feature is a must and should always be used, especially right before sharing your documents with others. Because sticky keyboards and typos can ruin a good document, turning it from first class into a joke. So let's look at this tool and the options you have control over when it's used. We'll open up a document. I've closed every other document on my screen, so I'm going to need to open up a document by clicking the Office button, then Open. We need to navigate to the Lesson 7 folder of your exercise files to find Job Posting 12. Give it a click, and then click the Open button to bring it up on your screen. Okay, right off the bat, and by default, our attention is being drawn to certain areas of the document. Consultant up here is spelled incorrectly, and we know that because Word is underlining it in red. Before we run the spelling and grammar command, let's look first at fixing mistakes on the fly. We can go to a word that's underlined in red here with our mouse pointer and right-click on it to see a pop-up menu with some options for perhaps the correct spelling or some other options that we may be meant to type. Well, here it is, the correct spelling of consultant. So when I click on it, look at that, my typo is fixed up. Now we could continue through the entire document this way, but why not let Word find the errors for us? Maybe even items that are not marked on our screen right now. We do that by going up to the Review tab up here on the ribbon, because we will be reviewing our document. Over here on the left-hand side in the proofing group is spelling and grammar, so we click that. And you can see right away it kicks into action and jumps to the next typo, which is consultant here in red. It's not recognized in the dictionary, and we even get to see some of the context around it. So our options are over here on the right. First of all, we have a suggestion down below that's selected consultant with an A, and that is the correct spelling of consultant. And our options on the right are to ignore this just once, so we'd find it the next time it's spelt this way. Ignore it every time it finds it spelt this way in the document. Add this word to the dictionary so we'll never find it as an error ever again. Or we can change it. Now if we choose change, we're just going to change this one error. It seems like whoever typed this document typed consultant incorrectly throughout the entire document. So this option here might be better, change all. So every time you find it spelt with an E like this, Word is going to change it to whatever we select here under suggestions, which is consultant with an A. So I'm going to choose change all. So right away that gets fixed up throughout my entire document very quickly. Now we've jumped to a different kind of error, and you can see that we've got our context here that says for a training consultant to join its required to join its training services team. Well, it looks like IT'(S) is not the way we should be spelling its. The suggestion down below is ITS, and this is not a spelling error necessarily, it's more of a grammar error. And you can see that's because check grammar is selected down here. So spelling and grammar are combined now into this one tool. So with our suggestion selected, our options are different when we're checking grammar. We can ignore once, we can ignore this rule, we could go to the next sentence, or we can change it, and here's a new button, explain. When I click the explain button, I'm going to find out why I've chosen the wrong spelling of its. Instead of ITS, it's a long way to the station. Consider it's a long way. Okay, that's the opposite of what I did. But down here, where it says the cat drank its milk, IT'(S), that's what I did. I should consider the cat drank its milk. Okay. So it's word help, and it's actually just giving me an explanation of what I've done. I'm going to close it right here. I understand now that it should be ITS without the apostrophe. I click change, and it fixes that up. Moves on to the next error, which happens to be another grammar error. Eat cake, patisserie, ink, have an immediate. It should be has. So I'm going to change that one as well. Okay, here's one that's interesting. Track and submit eat cake expense reports. Now this is not really a word I would find in the dictionary, but it's not a spelling mistake or a typo either. It's actually a proper name. So I might want to add this one to the dictionary, and by clicking Add to Dictionary, I'll never stop at this word again. So Add to Dictionary fixes it up. The spelling and grammar check is now complete. When I click OK and I scroll through my document, I won't see any of those red or green squiggly lines. So that takes care of spelling and grammar. Let's move on to finding synonyms next.